applaud Tarzan.
Oh, hey, TJ.
Hey, guys.
Hi.
Oh, fancy meeting you here.
Welcome
When'd you
back.
show up?
I'm back.
I'm glad you're back.
Frodan, my pick to win the entire tournament. Right now, he's 2-2.
I think
He's got a chance.
Like,
Unlucky, man.
he wanted to play in other tournaments as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot to do at DreamHack if you want to, you know, not just do Hearthstone. So.
Yeah, like play some more Hearthstone.
Oh, yeah. If
There's
you're not
a
playing in the tournament, you can ladder.
There's a side event as well that a lot of priests, a lot of people.
A lot of priests.
A lot of priests.
A lot of priests like to participate in.
A lot of priests.
They come from all around Austin, Texas. All the different parishes.
Little did we know that it's a religious gathering as well as
Praise God, Frodan.
a gaming event.
The priests come from all the way across the land.
Yeah.
Me having to mime everything, it set my brain back a couple
We're gonna have to
jumps.
work on our charades, TJ. It was subpar. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We can do better. I know we can.
It is A-okay. But yeah, Frodan versus Tars. Both these guys, I think both of them are 2-2 unless one of them got paired up or down.
I don't believe at this stage you really do get paired up or down. It's like kind of early in the Swiss.
Well,
Yeah.
if it's an uneven number of players that are remaining.
Somebody's
sure.
got to get paired up or down.
Sure.
But I'm not sure. But both these guys, basically they're in a must-win situation because if you go 3 losses, you're mathematically eliminated from the Swiss portion, so you can't make it to top 16. So both of them looking for a win.
And like you were saying, there's a side event tomorrow as well. So you know,
Eh.
even if Frodan doesn't take it here, he could be your pick to win the side event, TJ.
Nah.
Nah.
Main event or bust, right?
Yeah, nah.
Whew. High stakes for Dan. He doesn't want to let you down.
Yeah.
Never gonna let you down.
Never gonna run around.
Ever desert you.
I don't think that's the right lyrics, but we'll just go with it. Good job, Noxious.
It's close.
Well done, son.
I think.
Well done, Sleepy.
I've been waiting to do that all day.
He's like,
We've been wearing the same color shirt. I want you guys to watch for a moment what happens when I sit down on this stool.
This guy's so huge. I'm so tiny. It's just great. I love
Oh
this thing.
man, I picked the wrong day to wear heels, guys. I really did. My feet are killing me. I'm too tall. It's oh god.
This is great. This is
Bad
fantastic.
choices all around.
I like how you put it on Twitter earlier.
I'm
fun
just the
size.
most fun-sized caster. I am the most fun-sized caster.
Have you seen the meteor casters meme?
No, I have not. What is that?
We're playing around meteor positioning.
Okay. All right. Well, let's talk about some Hearthstone. Let's talk about some Hearthstone.
Sure, let's go.
No
Suck,
meteors here.
I think Dan's gonna win this one, so I'm gonna stick around. But Dan versus Tars. Here we go.
Well, he's up 2-0. He's doing pretty good, TJ. He's making you proud.
Okay, is this a... Summoning Stone is out, right? Did it rotate out?
Yes.
I believe it did. So
Yes, it
Tars is
did.
not running Summoning Stone Druid. Not like last
I'm
time.
disappointed. I wish he was.
Yeah. Last time he made a big splash at the event because he won with Summoning Stone Druid. And he became a crowd favorite for at least a few days. And that's how his name and legacy.
That's how people remember Tars.
Yeah.
Ah, he's a great player.
Speaking of Tars, there's a good draw.
Oh, I see what you did there. Yep, Tar Creeper, Tars. It's a natural fit. It's like peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
Tar and tar.
I don't know if it's peanut butter and jelly are really a natural fit, though. Like, if you really think about it, they have nothing to do with each other.
They started putting them in the same jar, Noxious.
They did?
You guys seen Frodan's deck techs?
No.
What
Frothing
do
Berserker,
they have
that's a
to teach
wild
me?
one.
What can they teach me, TJ? Tell me more about the
Educate
deck
us.
decks.
Educate us, TJ.
They're pretty good.
That's nice.
Is it like a bitter tide Hydra? Or a
Is it a 5-star video?
DJ, you're not letting us in on what these deck techs are. I'm in the dark.
You guys see Frodan's deck techs?
Noxious, I think he's cracking under pressure.
There's no pressure here. There's only Dan who's under pressure. Look at that face against that one minion.
Look at that vibrant hair.
That Tar Creeper's putting in some work, though.
Yeah.
What a lot of players were thinking that Pirate Warrior would just smash all over Jade Druid, but Jade Druid's got some game against Pirate Warrior now. They got a lot of them run double Feral Rage, double Earthen Scales. You have Tar Creepers in there. You also have Jade Behemoth, Primordial Drake as well at the 8 spot. They got a lot of ways to block damage. How about those deck techs?
What did Frodan teach you on those deck decks?
I don't know. He did one on Hunter the other day. That was pretty good. It was a pretty good watch.
Yeah, he was doing one about WTY Bill's handlock deck, I think was the most recent one.
Handlock.
Yeah.
In 2017?
It's a deck,
Okay.
according to Frodan and WTY Bill.
Yeah. Frodan takes competition seriously when he competes. He usually preps really hard, and he was try hard. And I saw him he was taking notes. He had spreadsheets open that he was looking at before the games with matchup win rates, trying to decide which deck he was going to go. I remember back when he competed at Seed Story Cup, the one where he top 8'd.
Yeah.
He practiced for 3 weeks beforehand with everybody. He when he competes, he takes it super seriously. He's also one of the first people in talent green rooms to challenge people and organize caster tournaments.
He loves them.
He just always loves competing.
Yeah, I got a chance to talk to him at TESPA last week, and he was talking about how, as a caster, he has a lot to prove as a player, but he wants people to remember that he can play the game.
Yeah.
And that it's important to him to be able to play this game well. So that's why he does put in the effort to come out and prepare and compete in tournaments like these.
Missing one weapon charge here doesn't matter, as you oftentimes override this weapon anyway with Arcanite Reaper. And he's probably thinking the casters are going to point that out, but it doesn't matter because I've got Arcanite Reaper.
We see into your mind, Frodan. We know what you're thinking.
Yeah, what it's a nod to, I think, is Harrison. He didn't want to attack and then give 3 draws with Harrison. He just wanted 2, considering he knew that he was going to play Arcanite Reaper anyway. But to be honest, if you leave 3 up, maybe you're baiting out the Harrison Jones.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a tough call, but I agree with Frodan's call here.
Oh, he's going with Leroy.
Leroy's actually not too bad here because you're able to kill off one of the wells with the weapon, which means that then the hero power has to be used on the Druid side or Earthen Scales, Wrath, one of many, many answers potentially lurking in the deck, and that could be a Gadsden Auctioneer turn.
It could be. He doesn't have a way to block damage, but Harrison Jones effectively blocks damage.
Yeah.
Right, guys?
Effectively.
You're technically correct.
Did somebody say deck techs?
Should get Frodan up here right now. Let's just put his game on pause.
Did he make a deck tech about Part Warrior?
Do you love to see it or hate to see it? Bring the game back.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I could use a deck tech about Part Warrior. I don't know how to play the game. The deck is a bit too complicated.
Yeah, all memes aside, there's a good amount of
thought.
Yeah.
That goes into it.
Sometimes you're like, well, should I trade? And then ultimately, you probably hit face, but
you do consider trading.
There's some decision making.
Yeah, and actually, if you look at Amnesiac, for instance, play Pirate Warrior, you'll notice how many times he's holding on to minions just to get a swing turn with the Dread Corsairs. Instead of playing minions on curve that he has access to, will simply choose to hold on to them. I was talking about that with Admirable, and he was referring to Amnesiac as one of those Pirate Warrior players that make you wonder how you've been playing the deck and why you were so wrong about it. Your input, TJ, is stellar.
Invaluable.
We could not do this without you. The question is, what do you think the Arcanite Reaper is going to do here, TJ?
Well, we have an answer.
What did you think it was going to do, TJ?
You hate to see that. Harrison Jones going to come down and draw a card as well as get rid of this weapon.
Bloodcell Cultist finding no value for Dan.
It's looking like Dan might drop this game, but he's up 2-0.
This matchup's a lot different than it was pre-Ungoro, it feels. Even though the decks didn't really change too much, Pirate Warrior basically just got rid of Sir Finley and added in, whatever.
Yeah.
An extra pirate somewhere along the lines. And Jade Druid, it lost Living Roots, some early removal. It lost Mulch as well, which was removal, but it gained
Earthen Scales.
Earthen Scales, which ended up being a pretty big deal because just having consistent armor gain against Warrior can sometimes just be enough to get you there. And Frodan has no cards in hand. Tar's still at 19 health. This one's going to be a tough one to win. Now, Tars has used a couple of those armor gains. He used Feral Reach for removal, and he used Earthen Scales to only gain 2 armor in order to move Leroy off the board. So it's not the best use of it, but he can stabilize with Jade Behemoth, start weaving in those hero powers. Even Frodan's best draws at this point, which is second Arcanite Reaper, is not even that effective because it doesn't even chop down the elephant statue thing.
Yes, you would have to run one swing of the Reaper and one of the Sail cultists into the Jade Elephant thingy. And at this point, it just doesn't seem like Dan has the reach.
The deck has no card draw, so there's effectively nothing but a top deck that helps. And even then, any draw that he finds is probably going to get mitigated by the armor gain on Tar's side. Yeah, there's pretty much nothing in Dan's deck. He's playing it out, though, see whether or not he can come up with the miracle weapon. But
If you can't Finley into life tap,
sure.
you get some hard times.
Could just be, you know, to gain some information. With Last Hero Standing, you know, when you lose to a deck, they're going to play the deck again. So it is beneficial sometimes to stay in the game as long as possible to try and get a little bit more information out of your opponent. Maybe a few more cards. You know, it's not like Conquest where if they beat you, the deck is done. So maybe that's the case. Picks up Fire War Axe, but don't know how long Frodan's going to stay there. Throws out the well played. That should be the scoop. Tar's going to continue on with this Jade Druid for the next game. Try and pull the reverse sweep.
I mean, there's the thing, right? You can target the Pirate Warrior if you want it, and that's one of the strategies some people are going for.
It's a viable strategy. You're expecting to see a lot of Warrior period this weekend, whether it's Quest or Pirate. You won't know going into the match, so generally banning Warrior is just going to be your best bet, just because the sweep potential with those two decks is so strong.
Yeah, Robert Wing looking at us very threateningly in the background there. How are you feeling about that, TJ?
It's quite threatening indeed.
No bow tie, though, so I'm going to know.
Yeah,
Nope.
It's not fancy Rob at his finest. It's just casual Rob.
It's a pleb Rob.
Yeah.
Ah, that hair is so vibrant.
It is beautiful. He was going for a more green, but he ended up with the turquoise blue. And I think it was a happy accident.
Honestly, every single time Dan gets his hair done, he tells me he wanted a different color than what came out. So I'm starting to doubt those claims. I feel like it's always the color he wants.
Yeah. It's just always a good color. He
just
must have a good stylist.
Or it's just a good story to tell every time. I don't know what it
The
is.
same story every time. I wanted red, but somehow it's blue.
And now it's orange instead of green. What happened, Frodan?
Dan only knows.
This actually could be a pretty tough matchup for Frodan. Looks like he's running a Control Paladin, and he's going up against a Jade Druid with Ramp in hand, and Tar's going to have a ton of time to start building up. Picks up Nourish. It's like the perfect draw.
This is so good.
Oh, man. That's gross.
It's sick, TJ.
What is Frodan going to even do?
What can he even play?
He can play the hero power.
I will say something though about the Jade Druid. I feel like I've talked to a few pros, and while a lot of people are saying Jade Druid is overrated and Aggro Druid is better, there's a few people that say that Jade Druid is simply the best Druid deck, as it has a good matchup against pretty much everything by a tiny margin.
And there's a lot of players in China playing Jade Druid over, you know, a lot of things. It's usually in their like main tournament lineups.
Okay.
You know, a lot of players that were participating in the Chinese events earlier on this year, you know, there was a few right around the release of Ungoro, brought that deck back over, you know, after watching some of these events. The sort of spring championship for China happened like 2 weeks ago-ish, the equivalent of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, a lot of players had Jade Druid in their lineup. So they have a lot of confidence in the deck. And, you know, a lot of times decks that become popular over there because of the sheer amount of players end up making it over here. For example, at Mean Streets of Gadget, a Temple Maid was a deck that wasn't played ever on the Americas and Europe servers. And it started to get popular. I think Omega Zero was one of the players that popularized it in China. And then it started making its way over to the West.
Yeah, we always get a little bit later, but eventually we catch on that, you know, sometimes the East has some good ideas, and maybe we should pay a little bit closer attention.
Purified Priest was one of those things, I feel, as well, this expansion, where NA and E were playing a little bit of it, and then China got a few people in the top 10 with it.
Yep.
Bunch of posts about it, and then suddenly NA and EU, the non-net decking regions, of course, are now playing Purified Priest.
And now China realizes it's bad. They stopped playing it.
Yeah. But the West is always just not lagging behind, right? Just catching up.
But we're still just jamming it.
Yeah.
Jamming Silence Priest and losing games.
We're like, this is the best deck ever.
3 mana 4/8. This is great.
Now this swing turn by Frodan is actually really powerful. If there was any chance for him to gain the board and keep it for the game, that was probably it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Making sure you nullify the 3 extra health on your minion, buffing up the Wicker Flame, getting that 1/1 to a 3/3 suddenly makes board clear is mandatory on Tar's side. Like, he's got to start considering like a few turns ahead of time how he's going to clean up the board.
He does have a lot of ways, but they're all kind of inefficient right here. Like, you can swipe, hit with minion, clears Tarim. You can follow up with Feral Rage. It looks like any way you're cutting it, you're going to leave something on board here. So maybe you're looking at a 2-turn clear with the Primordial Drake.
I think that's a very good line of play. I kind of like putting down a 4-8 and killing at least 1 minion this turn.
Yeah.
That seems sufficient to me.
I mean, you could just go really slow and swipe trade. Hero power hit nothing, and then you set up for Drake kill on Wicker Flame and the Recruit.
That's fine too.
I don't know.
There are about
That's a tough turn.
Yeah, there's about 2 ways to play this. One of them means that you're giving your opponent value out of something like an Aldor, or at least immediate value, where you can trade off weakened minions into it, whereas otherwise you just kill them, right?
This works too. Fandral Feral Rage, you get the 8 armor.
Or the trade.
2 minions straight into Fandral likely, but either way, you're ending up with a clear board, hopefully.
The Hammer of Wrath is so interesting to me because I feel like I've watched a ton of games today, and I don't know why he put it in the deck. I'm guessing something like Kor'kron Elite, you know, was one of the reasons. Something along those lines is the reasoning. But I've seen a ton of Paladin games today, of all the ones we've watched, where the opponent just has 3 health left or 5, and the guy's got Consec and no Hammer of Wrath. Because who would play Hammer of Wrath? And then Frodan comes up and says, yeah, I main deck it. I just main deck it, no problem. It's more reach, I'm happy.
None of this Ivory Knight and Hammer of Wrath stuff. We're just going, we're cutting out the middleman, we're playing the Hammer of Wrath.
I mean, Wild Pyro and Hammer of Wrath is basically a swipe that draws you a card for 6 mana.
Okay.
Whoa! Mind blown! Dude!
So good!
Dude, sick.
Noxious, you just blew my mind, man.
I did. Tar's looking down at a swipeable board. He's got the Harrison Jones he can play, but probably want to keep that for a little bit later. I imagine we're going to see the Drake with the potential Innervate hero power to kill off everything. Okay, never mind. We're going for full value. Let's go. How do you feel about that, TJ?
Indifferent.
Okay. How do you feel about that, Cora? Just going for the draw, not developing really too much in terms of big board.
I think it's all right. There really isn't much that Tarz has to develop here, and notably, he's playing Jade Druid, and I don't see a single Jade mechanic in sight, even though he has an 8-card hand. So eventually, you do need to find your good cards, your larger minions in this case.
It looks like Frodan is going to be setting up a clear with the Doomsayer. He's just going to protect it behind the Wicked Flame Burner. So I actually don't mind that play. That's pretty good, given that he's going to turn 8, where he's going to start dropping the big bombs one after the other. And while Taurus might be able to answer one of them, answering both in succession is going to be very difficult. And it's also giving Frodan the initiative.
This is a really intelligent play by Dan. You're rolling into your power turns. If you can get Tyrion or Rag Lightlord uncontested on board, you know that the Druid suffers with single target removal. Nobody's playing Naturalize.
I mean, there was technically a way to clean up the Doomsayer, I think, with the swipe, and then you start killing off Wicker Flame with the Feral Rage.
Yeah.
Then I think the Double Earthen Scales did it, but it's just not...
Too many resources.
Yeah, it's just not where you want to put your resources at. TJ just looking at me very strangely like...
It's at nap time, TJ.
Are you okay? TJ is just very tired.
You need a snack.
I'm not tired.
TJ is not tired. He's filled with energy right now.
He's ready to go.
He's bouncing around the chair.
You guys
ready to
do
another 8 rounds.
Some solid analysis right there. I didn't want to interrupt it.
I'm going to take that TJ compliment, and I'm going
how about that?
Store that one for later.
How about that Tyrion Forging?
How about it, TJ?
This game is going to be grindy.
It looks like it's getting there, yes. 30 Rat can speed things up a bit, though, as it denies the potential of one Jade generator, maybe getting the job done. But
if Dan can pull the Harrison, actually, that means that he gets Ashbringer value off of the Tyrion. Actually, either of the pulls here are pretty solid.
I'm looking at that Hydrologist and thinking, how can Dan get the best value from that Hydrologist?
Redemption.
Redemption, yeah, but, you know, Redemption's the best when you can isolate a big target on board. And the nature of Hydrologist is that it itself is a minion.
Ooh.
That's pretty good.
It's poetic.
You have to keep Hammer of Wrath to actually kill your Hydrologist to set up the getaway coda.
That's what it's for.
Yeah, now I get it.
Not as a 6-mana swipe, draw a card.
No.
I don't know.
I thought that was a good card.
They're both
Summon a
pretty good.
3/1. 6 mana, summon a 3/1, draw a card, swipe.
Seems good to me. Like, it doesn't technically draw since you're using 2, right?
Yeah, I think Druids would play that.
You know what that card's
With
called?
swipe, but
Mega swipe.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
swipe 2
I've
point.
been around you too much, TJ.
Yeah.
Starting to get bad.
Ooh, look at this. This play's fancy.
Another
Yeah.
tasty play by Dan.
Nah.
Double swipes. Like, swipe. Yeah, swipe, trade Harrison Jones. You keep the light load into play, but, you know, that's okay.
Is it?
Is it
Seems
okay?
fine. I mean, it sucks, but...
You also overdraw 2 cards.
Never mind the hand texture.
Okay, well,
We're in a vacuum here.
if you play Jade Idol for a minion first, then you only overdraw 1 card.
And if you get the Innervate out for, you know, 1 mana,
You could innervate Wild Growth afterwards
Yeah.
and overdraw no cards. Hero
yeah.
Power.
I mean, there's
also an
Earthen
option.
Scales. Is there ever a world in which you're Earthen Scaling to trade here and just playing, like, double swipe on Rag? I think that might be okay, right? Double swipe into
I
Earthen
mean,
Scales.
you could take 1 hit of the Ashbringer and then just Harrison for 2 cards.
Or Fel Rage this. I mean, technically, you can just wait until the Ashbringer is taken, as you said, you know, a little bit of hit. But he's going to go for the 3 cards and get himself a filled-up hand in this spot.
Yeah, you can play Jade Owl if he really
Yeah.
wants to empty a card. And there he is.
Well, Jade Mechanics picked up. Golems are going to grow.
Yeah, this is going to be a really tough matchup for Frodan to win. He really doesn't have anything left in his deck to pressure. And even if he makes it to like the super late stage of the game, Tars is eventually going to get to the point where he can get infinite Jades. And then no matter how many Equality Consecrates Frodan has, he just doesn't feel like he's ever going to get to a point where he can put together enough pressure. But
That's the turn that he needed
That's actually...
to make it happen. The Forbidden Healing here for 2 mana was the key point where he was looking at a dead Ragnaros and suddenly manages to keep it alive against all odds.
yeah,
He has the
Another
job.
really intelligent play.
And Ivory Knight is in the deck as well. Okay. There's potential for value there to be found. But I mean, card draw is not really what you want at this point.
Ivory Knight is a 12 mana heal for 4, summon a 3/1, draw a card, and swipe.
It's absolutely right, TJ.
How's that called? How is it? What's the name of that card?
Ivory swipe.
Oh.
Uber.
You didn't even try. You didn't even go to the Omega Swipe or something. You just went straight up for the Ivory Knight.
He found the better odds. TJ found the lines. He saw the lines very clearly.
That's a very good play, too. I like that play. I hope he does it.
Dirty Rat?
Ooh.
How about that Dirty Rat?
Actually, that's...
You guys seen Frodan's deck text?
Does he talk about Jade Druid?
Enlighten us.
I could use some Jade Druid knowledge bombs dropped on me.
Yeah. So Tars actually just doesn't have, well, he's got Jade Idol, Jade Blossom, but doesn't have any just straight up minions left. But it's not too much of an issue because as soon as he draws Gadget and Auctioneer, he basically just wins the game. Frodan needs to just pressure really hard here. And
He's going in
gonna
and
get
says, if
blown
you
out
got
by
swipe,
Swipe.
I'm dead.
yeah. I mean, he might be able to pick up some gas with Ivory Knight, but I mean, what could you possibly pick up that would allow you to win the game? He would have
Lay
to
on
pick up.
hands gives you cards, but what in your deck wins you the game?
Yeah, he would have to have a Molten Giant in his deck and pick up Holy Wrath from
Ooh.
the Ivory Knight.
Well, that's
Tars.
cute. Jade
Tars
wanna-
always plays like Yogg-Saron in his decks. Always.
Hugs are on in Summoning Stone.
Well,
Yeah.
Tars might be able to equalize the series then. Looking at this, it seems like Frodan's just under way too much pressure. Stonehill Defenders in the deck could give him another Tyrion. I assume that's still in there. We haven't seen them yet, so.
14 cards.
Yeah, he's got Stonehills in there for sure.
This game hasn't even been going on that long. Well, it feels like it. Well, it's going to be going on for a long time, but there hasn't been that many turns, I guess is what I'm getting at.
What are you getting at?
That was what I was getting at.
He got there.
That?
At it. Hey,
Oh.
Stonehill Defender.
Well, there goes the card Frodan was looking for sure. And
Hey,
that's
Tyrion
a
Forward.
Tyrion. Okay. I guess we're snap picking. What are we looking for here? Quality? Or
Quality.
another Tyrion.
A Light in the Darkness is actually... I
Could be
could pick
Deathwing. Could be Yogg.
Could be Tyrion.
You're very adamant, Noxious.
Well, it's got to be, right? It's a minion for Paladin. It's got a higher representation.
That's true.
So you could discover a Stonehill Defender.
Could be a hydrologist.
It could be Eureka.
I've done it.
What did she discover, though?
Something secret.
The cure for triggeredness.
Oh.
But right now, Tars is kind of out of stuff except for that Yoxeron.
Is that a problem?
He's also used both Jade Idols, right?
You're correct.
Yes.
He did not shuffle one of them, so he is going to run out of steam at the end.
It might actually be a nod to him not having Gadgets and Auctioneer in the deck.
I thought we saw it in the mulligan.
He's holding on to excess mana, so I think that's a nod to Gadgets and still in deck.
But that's kind of weird that he used both Jade Idols. At least he made one for a 3/3 earlier on in the game, and then he just made the one the last turn, I believe.
The one early on made sense, but...
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm wondering
Getaway Kodo could work here, right? Redemption on Tyrion.
It's pretty good.
He's got to take a few turns to set up because he's going to have to pass this one over.
I mean, you want to play Tyrion this turn if you can.
Yoxeron can backfire also.
I mean, sprint. Sprint.
Sprint 4 times?
Pyroblast face. Your face.
Okay, so he's simply going to opt for redemption on another target.
Oh,
He does
no.
have a Jade Idol.
Oh, he fandrolled the Jade Idol.
Fandrolled the Jade Idol.
He fandrolled the idol. It shuffled.
That's right. He did play both, but one of them was from the Fandroll, so he did keep track of his Jades better than we did.
How many Hearthstone casters does it take to figure out whether or not Tar shuffled a Jade Idol?
I can't climb the ladder. We are never screwing that light bulb. Erzin Scales is going to keep that guy alive and give some armor to Thars. It's really not that bad, though. Erzin Scales is one of those cards that surprised me the most, I think, out of the Druid package.
Yeah.
I saw the card, and it seemed okay, but I didn't assume it would be included in those decks. And as it turns out, it's just a fantastic card against aggro.
Frodan's playing double Ivory Knight and Hammer of Wrath.
It's a control
It's
paladin.
a control paladin, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so
but
now
it's-
Tars should have one Jade Idol left, right? Since he shuffled the idols, and then he's played 2 since then.
Yes.
I think there's only one left, yeah. He's going to have to start shuffling with it.
Yeah.
He's hoping to pick up that
Oh, the
Gadget.
giant mastodon!
Year of the Mammoth is real!
Frodan is a man of the people.
Or the Mammoths. You got to really pick one there.
Man
TJ.
of the Mammoths.
Ooh,
Oh,
that is
these are
a not great.
inspirational picks.
How much health do you want, TJ, on that Ivory Knight?
Ooh.
Is one enough?
That's all you're gonna get.
Are you happy with your one life, TJ?
All
You
right.
got one life to live, Noxious.
I think that's the last one. If he doesn't play it, it's the last one.
And he's waiting for the auctioneer to keep cycling. Otherwise, we're just going to see a
All right, now I don't know if it's the last one or not.
Okay, Tars, please.
Okay, first one was a 3/3. Second one came out from the Fandroll. Third one,
That's a 7-11 taunt.
You can buy stuff there.
it's the convenience store of large taunt minions.
Yeah.
There's no Circle K taunt.
It's a very convenient minion.
I'm taking 9 here every time.
You're taking 9? Okay. Be my guest, TJ.
Yeah. And redemption on the giant mastodon. This might be a Yoxeron game.
No?
No.
Actually got a giant auctioneer.
Today, we
Nope.
auctioneer for the last Jade Idol that we
many
don't even know
cards?
if it's in there.
How many cards? I mean, if you played that last turn, he has to have at least one, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be.
He's just making the biggest, baddest Yogg he can.
There it is.
There it is. Okay.
How many
We're not crazy.
casters did it
Look at
take?
Frodan. Look at Frodan's face. He's like, well,
I guess you're going wide.
yeah. And this is almost an unwinnable spot for Frodan because the second Gadget and Auctioneer is in hand, so this is going to be infinite Jade Idols.
Forever
Yeah,
and ever.
yeah.
And really ever.
And
Also ever.
one wild Pyromancer quality or equality crate.
Concrete.
Equality conk.
The concretion is...
Yeah,
You gotta start shuffling those Jades, though.
yeah. But, I mean, Frodan just doesn't have enough to deal with this, I feel.
Why has nobody ever called it the equation?
The equation?
Yeah.
I guess it's clever. You combine 2 card names.
I did.
How about Consecality?
Okay, that one's more fun.
It's the Consecality! But you do start with equality first, so I guess equation's cooler.
It's Itty Crate.
Isn't it Conkety?
Good try, though, guys. I like the effort.
I like
But-
Conkety.
This is Frodan's last hurrah.
It's Frodan's last stand. This is his Waterloo, TJ.
I mean, you're laughing now, but he's got a ton of damage coming up, right?
Yeah, he's going to apply this Blessing of Might.
And if it dies, it comes back. It's a 610 that comes back, and he's got the 15 damage push now, and there's no health gain left in the deck.
Oh, you're right.
That's a good point. Wrath kills it, and then you have a
Wait a second.
6-1 taunt.
Yeah.
8 plus 6.
It's potentially lethal here.
Ah.
You don't buy it?
No.
Redemption wins.
Oh, if he didn't check the secret before.
No,
Yeah,
he
didn't. It's not checked
he now
yet.
he knows it's not repentance.
That's all he knows.
It could be eye for an eye.
I guess, like,
If he thinks it's eye for an eye, he needs to check for this first because he needs to kill this bad boy off.
he actually needs to start by,
Right?
he needs to Wrath. I mean, there's really nothing that
Actually, even if this comes back,
doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter. He's at 14. Yeah, he needs 14. But he didn't take a point of fatigue damage. It's actually really important because he might have to auto attack into this.
Yeah.
But if Frodan picks up some, he's already used both consecrates, so that's
No more
he's already
mana
used both
tonight.
conks, both crates.
Hell, we saw one hammer of Wrath. What's keeping him from playing two?
Yeah, if he has some direct damage in his deck, he's
He's gonna win.
there's a potential, but it would have to be this turn, right?
I mean, think about the fact that there is no way to kill the Mammoth now. It's always connecting for 6, once, possibly twice, depending.
He has 1 damage.
Frodan,
Off
do
the
it!
Kill.
Another redemption? Count me in.
Can he
Is
put it?
eye for an eye good enough?
Nah.
Actually, it could be, yeah. There's nothing...
I mean, they're gonna hero power your face for one. They gain the armor.
Oh, you know what's gonna be good enough? 1/1s.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, and eye for an eye.
Oh.
Yeah, eye for an eye gets rid of a Yoxeron out. This
Oh.
this is looking like it's Frodan's game. Because Tars can't clear everything.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's Dan's game.
Kind of amazed.
This is Dan's game.
It's Dan's game. Oh man, I mean Redemption's good too. But eye for an eye takes away the Yoxeron out.
I like Redemption a lot, I think, in this spot. Because if you're looking to push only 1 damage, whatever dies. I mean, there's no more swives, no more Wraths, nothing.
Tars has a 13/13 golem on board. The only thing protecting your face is
The Redemption.
6-1.
It's going to have to be the Redemption, right? That's what's going to protect
Eye
your
for an
face.
eye. Protects your face.
Okay.
Yeah,
From any incoming damage.
but not from a hero power.
Unless he's at 1 exactly, but then he's going to be at
But
2
he's
from
gonna
hero
be at 2.
power.
So if you redemption, then the Gadgetzin has to run in, and their face would have to run in. I think redemption was it.
I think Redemption was the play, but I'm not...
This isn't gonna work, but I think redemption might have.
Worked out, yeah.
Yeah, because he can hero power, go up to 2 health, and then
survive.
attack
And then
in.
eye for an eye doesn't.
As long as he sequences it correctly, he's got the game.
Do you
Tars.
take a point of no? If you shuffle Jade Idol, you don't take a point of.
He doesn't even need to shuffle, right? If he sequences
he's
it
just gonna
correctly, he
play
just
it.
wins. Yeah.
I think redemption actually would have, because Tars would have been forced to run the 13/13 in or play Yogg.
Yeah, exactly. So I
Yeah,
think
that would have
Redemption
been
was 100% the win here. Well, not the win necessarily. I think it was.
But it would have forced the Yogg.
Yeah.
Force the Yogg.
Forced the Yogg,
geez.
Dan.
Frodan goes for the little bit of a bluff
man.
there, and he's gonna fall. Yeah, forgot Frodan was actually on pretty low health. Bummer, am I right? But Tars ties up the series 2-2. We got a series on our hands.
We did have one before, and it's going to keep going. Nothing changed, TJ.
There's always a series. This one's just a little
This
closer
is a
than we
series
thought.
that we've had on our hands.
Now, Tars equalizing the series from 0-2. We talked about reverse sweeps earlier. You tend to not see them too much in Last Hero Standing, but in this case, looks like Tars has a good shot at this. He's going to go up against the Paladin again. Like, can his last deck really outvalue the Control Pally, though? Because I think that deck has one of the best value-generating potential ever.
Tars is playing the Druid.
Oh,
Dan's
Frodan
gotta
doesn't
play
get
his
to
third
replay. That's
deck.
right.
Yeah,
We're not in Conquest
he's-
anymore. DJ looking at me funny, and here I am like, why is he looking at me so funny? He's like, well, this guy's
TJ's
a
got the
dumbass.
confused eyes.
This guy's dumb. Anybody told him about the format?
It's been casting for like 12 hours.
I
What is he doing?
I was questioning myself, to be honest.
I mean, in the state of non-tiredness you're in now, I don't doubt you.
All right, well, Frodan running the Elemental Shaman. Actually, this could be Elemental Shaman. It could be something completely different. But probably not, because those are 3 elementals in the hand.
I think the Fire Elementals with the giveaway, kind of, because you tend to see every Shaman deck, like Control deck, run the Manatide, Hot Spring Guardian, Tar Creeper, but you don't tend to see Fire Elemental and Control Shaman as much. So I would assume this is indeed just a tempo, quote-unquote, Elemental Shaman.
Yeah.
It's kind of tough against that matchup, too, if you're the Shaman player. Depends if he's running the Bloodlust package.
Oh, Dan's going... I mean, he heard the Ben Brode rap and he heard the line, if you put them all in, you gonna be ballin'. Yeah. And he took that to heart, and he put in Fire Plume Phoenix.
Just search for Elemental in your collection.
Just put them all in.
This is how you end up with Magma Ragers in your deck, TJ.
Magma Rager's your favorite. It's time to savor it, Noxious.
Well, if you want to bake a pretty elemental deck, gotta search for it. I guess in this spot, Tars is considering the Innervate Aya. The issue with that, of course, is, hey, if there's Hex, well, hey, but everything dies to Hex anyway. And you're not gonna bait one with anything else than Aya in the matchup, so. Simplest way to get the job done, and Frodan's got nothing to answer it. No Devolve, no Hex.
Fortunately, the Jades are still pretty small.
Yeah.
Tars has a lot of follow-up, but Dan doesn't know that. I'm wondering what Dan's endgame is here. Is he?
There is no endgame.
Is he running
in
Bloodlust?
Deck. There is no endgame in that deck. I mean, maybe he is running the Bloodlust. It could happen. I've just found that Elemental Shaman is one of these super weird decks where reminds me of like a bad dragon deck. What's up, TJ? You had something to say?
No.
TJ, just checking in. You okay?
You want to take this inside?
Sure, Guac boy.
Let's not get hasty here, boys.
Oh, you like Elemental Shaman, is what you're saying.
Love the deck.
Did Frodan do a deck tech about it?
Can confirm, Magma Rager, TJ's favorite.
Magma Rager is viable in a world of Shadow Flames.
Or you could play Ice Rager, or you could not play.
But if you're playing Ice Rager, you are not playing around Mind Control.
I just want to take everything Noxious says and put it on one of those cheesy inspirational posters.
I want to cross-stitch it into a pillow. Put it on my bed.
So Frodan here looking at a...
Noxisms.
Noxisms, what are we going to call that?
You can market those, copyright that.
Oh, man. Noxisms. Sounds like an ideology.
Aerosol the love.
Wow, he found a... What's it? Storm Elemental. I'm like, what the name of that card is. Is that Storm Elemental?
Air Elemental.
Air? Really?
I think so.
It's kind of a bummer.
The whole card is a bummer.
Yeah.
I think it's Air Elemental. I feel really dumb if I'm wrong.
It looks stormy.
Let's Google it.
Can you hear the boom boom in the background?
Yes, I can.
It's my heartbeat, TJ. Stop looking at me. Nourish for draw here. Could give him a swipe. I mean, at this point, he is looking for a swipe, right? It's one of those matchups where you need to exhaust the shaman, the resources.
Right.
And I really don't know how Frodan is going to be exhausted of resources in this spot. Because you look at the Mana Tide, and he's drawn, what, 3 cards already? And Tars has not found an answer to it. So it's already done what Frodan wanted it to do. Anything else it does is just bonus on top at this point.
I'm really curious as to what Frodan took out in favor of the Phoenixes. Did he just elect not to play Tolvir Stone Shaper because it messes up the elemental curve?
That's probably what it is, really. Like, you bring up the point about messing up the elemental curve, and it's done on purpose design-wise, of course, because they don't want you to be able to get a really strong 4-drop.
If you can go Tolvir into Servant of Kalamos, that's kind of dumb. It's too good.
And so, by keeping the Fire Plume Phoenix, you're also keeping a lot of game against aggro-ish. You know, you're keeping some game against aggro while maintaining your Servant of Kalamos curve.
Is that producer jumping rope?
Somebody's jumping rope, yep. Apparently we're skipping rope at DreamHack.
People are going stir crazy.
I really think Frodan did just search Elemental and put them all in his deck. Oh, Blood Mage Thalnos.
Okay.
That probably is a full clear.
Yeah, with the Maelstrom Portal.
Yeah, you could Portal and
Lightning Storm. So the Lightning Storm would have to roll high on the 6/6.
Yes.
In order for that to happen.
You also do just have Hot Spring Guardian in hand, which is a taunt.
I kind of like killing the 4/4 with the Elemental and healing my Fire Ellie with the Hot Spring and then playing Fire Plume somewhere, or maybe a Firefly Hero Power, something a little bit more passive to where you're setting up Blaze Caller next turn.
You could also just do Blaze Caller this turn on the 4/4, trading the Fire Elemental to the 6/6.
I mean, it leaves your board just as healthy.
Yeah,
a little bit more even.
I kind of like going with Blood Mage Thalnos plus the AoEs because at this point the Jades are 6/6.
Yeah.
So they're going to start to get further and further out of range of any of the smaller AoE that Shaman has. So
Is the best AoE clear you're gonna get, is what you're saying?
It's going to be one of the best. You're just not guaranteed. This is
wonder if
this is
Dan's
the play
running
that I
the
like the
package.
second best.
Going face, yeah.
Do you guys think he's running the Jade package?
I
Or
don't
did he
think
just
so.
decide to cut Claws, Jade Lightning, and Aya
I've not.
and just go full elemental?
Yeah, I mean that's the problem with the deck in a nutshell. Is when you're starting to split it two ways, it has two game plans that while they work with one another are really forcing you to take command of the board early, and if you let it go, you just lose.
Are you at liberty to cut Jade Lightning from your deck, though?
I mean, I wouldn't play Tidal Surge in their stead,
No.
but
No, I certainly
I would
wouldn't.
probably cut them. I mean, Jade Claws is more questionable, I think,
Yeah.
as that card has been amazing against aggro. However, if you're running like 4 AoEs and double Fire Plume,
Probably doesn't
maybe
matter.
maybe you have enough game against aggro to cut those. Or are we looking for, TJ? No,
Almost Primal Lord.
call her the right
Elemental's
call.
Okay, too.
And
Was Dust Devil?
I'll take an Earth Ellie
Yeah, that's pretty good.
in the honor of his top 8 at Sea Story Cup.
It's on big stuff. Oh, yeah. Dan actually, well, he was playing Bog Champ Shaman. Did it have Earth Elementals in it?
He might have, yeah. I think a
didn't-
lot of people were running them at the time, yeah. That
He
card
didn't
was good.
top 8 the Sea Story Cup where he brought Bog Champ Shaman. He didn't do too well at that one.
No.
He top 8'd the one in 2015, I believe.
The Bog Champ still made an impact.
He was so happy.
Yeah,
He was so happy.
I guess.
It was the happiest Dan's ever been. Well, maybe not.
I mean, I don't know Dan's life that well.
I do.
He was quite happy.
Lightning Bolt.
Lightning
Okay, you can play that and kill the 4/8 in the current spot. I mean, you do have double fire plume with the bolt, right? So that's an extra. That's 7 damage you can push if you wanted. You play 2 3/3s at the same time, which
No
work
Hex
well with
in
Blood
hand.
Mage, Maelstrom, Storm. So I would kind of like to see the fire plume bolt.
It's just a weird position because he has so many cards that just don't do much.
Elemental Shaman in a nutshell.
You have
That's
so
how it
many
feels.
cards.
It feels
and they
so
don't
weird.
do much. And the Jades are getting too big to the point where Blood Mage, Lightning Storm, Maelstrom's not going to clear anything. If you pick up second Lightning Storm, then maybe you can. I feel like we're just hitting that point of no return.
But the ropes are coming.
Looks like Frodan is going to go for the AoE clear if he picks up the...
Oh.
If he picks up the AoE damage, spell damage totem. Looks like that's what he's going to be going for.
Wrath of Air.
Pretty good card. I was going to be a little bit more passive about it, though.
I mean, this hopefully negates 7 damage.
I'm assuming at this point there's Bloodlust in the deck. Deciding to go so wide right now,
Yeah.
instead of going for a slightly smaller board with less minions that are more sturdy, kind of indicates that to me. What's the music from?
I'm liking it. I can feel the desk vibrating.
Yeah.
The bass is so loud.
I can't hear you, TJ. Are you saying something?
The drama. They're playing this music for Game 5 of Frodan versus Tars. Frodan on the verge of defeat, on the verge of the reverse sweep
Can
from the
he
Jade
take
Druid
it
from
back?
Tars.
Keep
Mom
himself
spaghetti.
in this tournament.
The Fire Plume Phoenix, the 2 damage from each of these, I don't think it's going to be enough.
But he still has the AoE damage. Is that going to bring him back in the game? But TJ, what about Hex?
It's a 3-mana card that turns a card into a 0/1 frog.
You guys seen Frodan's deck text?
Did he talk about Hex?
Have you guys seen Frodan's deck
he-
Hex?
Deck Hex. See Frodan's Hex deck.
Wow, this is actually a
Oh, that's really good.
pretty good clear.
Given the spot that he was in, yeah, it doesn't get much better than that. Now
He's grinding his way through this. I mean, if he does have some type of finisher in his deck, which I don't think he does at this point after seeing Lightning Bolts.
there could be a Bloodlust, but it's one of those really rare occurrences,
Yeah.
especially in those decks.
I think
Tars is running out of resources, though. It's looking like he's getting down to Yogg-Saron as final option.
I was gonna say, I would like to introduce you to my Lord and Savior, Yogg-Saron. You talk about being
I've
out
not
of
heard of his
resources.
theology.
interesting.
Yeah, Flame Tongue.
Totem.
Fantastic card in just about every spot when you have a board. And this is one such spot.
Well, Flame Tongue plus Fire Plume can clear off
Do you ever
Arc Reaper.
Hex for tempo here? Is that ever a thing you do?
I don't think so.
It's a bit too...
Put down a lot of damage if you do.
Yeah. Okay, now we're really talking about a double Earth Elemental turn.
Ooh.
That is when Druid gets a bit spooked if they don't have the big Jades coming back. And it looks like they've already exhausted a ton of Jade generators.
Malfurion is easily spooked. You ought to be careful. He's a frail guy.
Is he, though?
Not at
Nature
all.
will rise against you.
He's a bit of a badass.
I feel like people raging, to me, in Druid is the most satisfying rage I ever hear. Like, there's something cathartic about Malfurion getting angry.
You're still so triggered from all of the Force of Nature Savage roars that you're just happy when any Druid deck gets mad.
Yeah,
That's
I'd like to be a better person, but that's probably it.
Okay, we're all about
Noxious,
that.
that's a huge draw.
Actually, that's a
TJ?
huge draw. That
you?
is a huge draw, TJ. Don't laugh about it. Why are you so intent on laughing about everything, TJ?
Well, Noxious, I think perhaps TJ was poking fun at his casting partner, Nathan, that's Admirable Zamora. You may have met him. He's here, actually.
The memeception is too real. We need to stop this right now. While Frodan's still ahead.
I wouldn't call him ahead at this stage.
No.
This board is clear. Those Jades are actually 8-8s, or 8-8 or 9-9.
Yeah, but he's got a massive, like he's got a super wide board with a Bloodlust and a Hex. I think he's ahead. I think he's winning this game.
Ooh, if you just Sentinel Hex,
Yeah.
then you have 4 minions on board. Ooh.
Wouldn't call him ahead, he said.
Frodan's a mad genius.
Yeah.
He picked up a Bloodlust after I said that.
Honestly, your lack of faith disturbs me, TJ. The Church of
Do we
Dan
need to do
would like
trust
to work with you.
exercises?
This deck is really interesting from Frodan. It's very minion heavy. It runs a
Yep.
lot of elementals. Cuts Jades, doesn't look like it runs a single weapon, but runs Lightning Bolt and Bloodlust.
And AoE on top. I don't know how many storms he's running, probably 2.
I'd imagine 2 storms, 2 portals. You're running Blood Mage.
It's
so-
the list without Volcano probably, right? Because you can't afford to run Volcano in a list
Yeah.
that minion heavy.
Yeah.
So it's less of the control base and more of the I'm going to curve you out and eventually finish you with Flame Tongue Burst.
It's actually a tough spot for Tars. He's got a lot of health gain with Feral Rage, but
I mean, he could go for Fandral, double Fel Rage, kill a minion, and then move on with his life, but is that the best Fel Rage he gets?
or you can Yogg.
Oh my goodness.
Here we go.
Frodan throws up his hands. Frostnova, that's a really good one.
Oh!
Doomslayer, go. That's not Doomslayer. I'm bummed out.
Battle Frog.
Okay, what else is going to be coming out?
Oh my goodness.
And
That's it.
No.
Actually, it's not over. We've got the Earth Ellie, we've got the 12-year Stone Shaper. We can connect with these guys. Tars is looking like he feels bad, but I don't know. Do you feel bad for real, or is it just pretense?
That's a good, that's a 1-card board clear. I mean, that's pretty good.
You can't
I'd
feel bad
say.
about that, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's not bad at all. And Frodan's just gonna try and, go for a lethal setup here. 10 damage on board with 6 from Bloodlust.
And his opponent is almost out of cards.
Yeah, he does have the, no, he does not have Infinite Cycle. Wow. He used both Jade Idols earlier on to try and contest the board, I do believe.
I think he's going to go for the double big Jade here with the Jade Behemoth as well as the Jade Spirit. Trying to set up a counter push. He's got armor generation with the Feral Rages. He's got damage to deal with those as well. So he's not quite done here.
I mean, Tars can gain 16 with Feral Rage. Earth and Scales can give him, God, up to 10,
Yeah.
12, depending on what his Jades are at.
The thing is, this is all he has left to work with.
Yeah.
I think that's enough, though. Frodan's hand is also all he's got to work with, and it's really not that impactful. On the upside, though, he can always set up 2 minion push.
Think about it, though. Dan's probably got Kalamos Primal Lord in deck.
Yeah.
Kalamos can deal 6 damage to face. If Dan can set up lethal with Kalamos, he's going to have to play an Elemental the turn before, but maybe that's how he wins this game.
Okay, that's not a bad
I
idea.
feel like Bloodlust on average is going to be more than 6 damage to face.
Yeah, but Tars is likely putting down Behemoth this turn.
Yeah.
6 health taunt you're gonna have to go through.
I'm not disliking this. I like the whole, okay, he's gonna just get himself 10 armor, it seems. Can't argue with 10 armor.
Actually misses an armor up, so ends up his turn a little bit there. And Frodan draws the Hex. That's pretty good. He knows it's a second Jade Behemoth. He saw every single card that Tars had basically in the last match, so he can put him on not having another minion that's going to be able to block what Frodan's trying to do next turn. So even though he's not really setting up lethal because of the armor gain, Frodan's building up a board that Tars just probably won't be able to get through. Let's see what the last card is.
It's not the Jade Idol. We know that for
Earth
sure.
Scales.
Looks like we're going to be going for the double Feral Rage, that is, getting 16 health in the form of armor. Being able to clean up the... Oh, he's going to opt not to do that.
Okay, so Tars has one 10/10 golem left.
And that's it. And that
And
devolves.
an auctioneer he can't play any spells after.
Like, it's not
all.
Wow.
Yeah. I could make this guy a 3-drop, I guess. Humongous Razor Leaf, go. That's gonna be a 4-drop. Right now, I don't think a 3/5 is that big a deal. You could double trade into it for safety, but at some point, you just win from...
Devolve removes taunt, likely.
Yeah.
If Tars were to have surprise Ancient of War.
She's going to play the grindy game, and this is Tars' last minion. Besides get it to an auctioneer, but he can't play that until all his spells are gone effectively. So
That
Tars is
golem
going to
has
gain
to
health.
hit face 3 times.
That's a big ask with the Devolve in hand.
Yes,
I mean, that guy's becoming a 9-drop, and then we're going down, down, down.
Sugar, we're going down. It looks like Tars is going down here. Frodan, with his wacky elemental shaman deck, may have done it.
Despite the Yogg, and everything else, Frodan, if he's kept track of cards, knows that he can just AoE down the 2/3 and be happy about his life. There's also Devolve Calamos if you want to go that route. But I think you want to keep that 2/3 dead before you Devolve, because it probably gets better.
3 drops generally have more than 3 health. Or you could call him most hero power.
Yeah.
I mean, Frodan doesn't have perfect knowledge of what's in Tars' deck, but I think you can get a good enough idea to pinpoint him on Gadgets and Wrath.
That seems reasonable enough to me. I mean, if you're cleaning up the 2/3 with the Calamos, then you'll probably be able to push Bloodlust lethal over 2 turns at the very least.
Yeah.
This is it.
Looks like Tars not cycling in Jades.
Going back to bite him a bit.
Yeah, but to be honest, if he hadn't played that second Jade out earlier, I mean, his Jades would have been smaller throughout the game.
Yeah.
He would have had a turn where he only developed like a 4/4, which was pretty weak. So I don't really blame him too much. And he probably had a misread on what this deck actually was. I don't think he thought it was as grindy as it was.
There is
Okay, whoa. Stop a second here. So we're running a a tempo control elemental. It's just a mid-range deck. It's a mid-range deck.
Burst.
It's a mid-range grindy elemental deck. That's precisely what it is.
And you've just taken out the Jade package for the Phoenixes, Volcano, Devolve.
Earlier I said, oh, you know, Elemental Shaman's kind of awkward, but the truth is, if you orient it towards more removal, I think that deck has, by default, more potential. Whereas if you go for the Jade package, you're really all-inning on taking the board over.
All right, well, Frodan's done it.
This is good.
Takes the victory over Tars, a grindy game. He went up 2-0. That was about an hour ago.
Yeah.
You're regretting coming in here then? Because you were like, I was like, Frodan, stick around.
Frodan's going to close out this match with Pirate Warrior in like 5 minutes. An hour later, I'm like, oh man, I made a huge mistake. But yeah, Frodan takes the victory. He moves up to 3-2 total in the DreamHack Austin Grand Prix. So he still has a very a slim chance of making it through. He lost early on, so his tiebreakers probably won't be that great.
Yeah.
And there will be some players that make it to 7-2 after the 9th round to Swiss and do get cut out of the top 16. So he has to win and then also hope that his opponents keep winning, that he's lost to.
That he's going to get the tiebreaker up as much as possible,
Yeah.
It's a long match. Our
Are you okay
second match that we saw on stream.
The music's for Frodan.
It's his victory song.
Yeah.
That deep bass is...
yeah, Frodan's pumping. Yeah, man! You did it! Whoa!
Making you proud, TJ.
He is.
It's the most important thing, I'm sure, for Dan.
Like a proud father, even though me and Dan are the same exact age.
It's fine. You look like his father.
We look so much alike. But yeah, that's 5 rounds. That was the last match. of the 5th round of Swiss. So 5 rounds are done. I checked in with some players before I came over here to the desk, and I couldn't find anybody that was like 5-0. It was like hard.
Really?
Chalky was still playing.
Okay.
His opponent was still 4-0. I couldn't see who his opponent was. I can only see one perspective. Amnesiac went up to 4-1.
Okay.
So there's still a lot of players, a lot of notable players that are like floating around that 4-1 range. But I couldn't find any players before I came over here that were 5-0. So
Chalky might be the one, or his opponent, because they're both 4-0.
Or his opponent,
yeah.
So you know, we'll get that checked up on. But we are going to broadcast, I believe, one more round of Swiss today.
I think so.
We were originally planning to do 7, but the rounds have been going a little bit longer, so we're going to move the 7th round, the 8th round, and the 9th round tomorrow, and do the 6th round today. So it's going to be interesting to see who's going to come out at the end of day 1 with those 6-0 scores. There should just be a few of them.
Yeah, and when you're going into day 2 with 6-0, you're just looking super confident going forward.
Yeah.
Like it's very hard to drop games at that point. If your lineup seems as consistent, you're probably going to do well as well.
You're looking for 1 win to likely get you through to the top 16. 2 wins is pretty much a guarantee. So it's definitely strong footing to put yourself on, and it's looking like we have some really great players that could potentially be through to the top 16.
Jockey could go for a repeat performance. It looks like he has the decks because a lot of his practice group has been having success. A lot of those guys are floating around the 4-1 range.
How'd Nostum do?
He's 3-2 right now.
Okay.
He's also in that practice group. I think Terrence.
Yeah, Terrence was doing well.
Yeah, he's 4-1 now at this stage, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So a lot of players, especially that success at DreamHack Austin last year, also having success this year, which is, you know, no real surprise considering it's sort of a similar part of the meta.
Yeah.
You know, it's a similar atmosphere from what we had last year, so I wouldn't be surprised if we have at least a couple players that make both back-to-back top 16s for DreamHack Austin.
Yeah, it makes sense. I'm also wondering, because last time I feel like we had a lot more 5-0s going into like this round. I feel like we had a lot more names determined, but everybody that I've talked to who's won a lot of games, basically familiar faces.
Yeah.
Lost all tournaments, just getting good performances.
Yeah.
Same thing here.
Dog was up there, obviously. He took out Raynad in this round, so maybe Dog's actually 5-0.
Well, he is, yeah, because we watched him go 5-0 on stream.
On right now, yeah.
Yeah. So he is definitely 5-0. And Raynad's 4-1. That's the updates, but round 5 is complete. We are going to broadcast one more round of the Swiss today. We're going to go to a quick break while we get the pairing set up and the players ready to go. But don't go anywhere. The final round for day 1 of DreamHack Austin Grand Prix 2017 right after this.